Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have Scott Nations, President of Nations Indexes, for a recap on what we're seeing in the Nasdaq Volatility Index, or what we call VOLQ. Scott, it's great to see you as always. Welcome back to Trade Talks.
Thanks so much, Jill.
Yeah, VOLQ, it's been kind of quiet. Earnings season was pretty good for many of the Nasdaq 100 companies, and VOLQ really has been, on a historical basis, relatively depressed.
Well, it's certainly come in a bunch since we saw the spike for COVID. Since then, we've had lower lows and lower highs, about what you would expect following a big spike in volatility. The interesting thing, Jill, is that the low that it made at the end of last month, the end of October, we haven't been able to get lower than that. So what does that say to us? It says that we may be seeing a temporary low. If we can't make another new low in VOLQ, then maybe that means that option prices and implied volatility is gonna stick around this level or maybe head higher if we can't make another new low. Now, VOLQ is just above 18 right now. You can't consider that low historically, but it is certainly lower than we've seen it since, say, February of 2020.
Right. So then, Scott, what does this mean for investors at this point? Nasdaq 100 stocks have performed quite well. Should they be buying protection at this point?
Well, again, options are relatively expensive. VOLQ tells us that. And, you know, the interesting thing about the Nasdaq 100 is it has done really, really well until the last week or so. And now it's had a little bit of trouble. Most of that trouble is coming from Tesla, which has always been volatile. And unfortunately, over the past couple of weeks, it's been volatile to the downside. So what does that tell us about hedging using VOLQ? Well, if you wanted to hedge using VOLQ, you could certainly buy the VOLQ futures that trade at the CME. They trade there under the ticker symbol VLQ. That'd be one way to do it, although again, VOLQ is relatively high on a broad historical basis. You know, another way to do it maybe would actually be going in and actually hedging where the risk is coming from. And right now that would be in Tesla. A way to do that if you're a Nasdaq 100 portfolio holder would be to buy, say, a put spread in Tesla. Maybe that's a better idea than buying, say, a put spread or a put in the Nasdaq 100 itself, because again, many of the names are doing well, and it's one name not so much.
Right, that's a good point, Scott. So, and believe it or not, next time I speak with you, we're going to be halfway through December and closing out 2021. You know, if you take a look at your crystal ball here, stocks are historically perform well in November and December. Do you expect the same as we get into the last few weeks of the year?
Jill, you know, you don't make a whole lot of money if you sell your winners. And let's face it, the Nasdaq 100 has been a big winner. You know, if you sell it here and we see it another 250 points higher by the end of the year, you're going to feel like a dope. So I'm a scared bull. I'm a cautious bull. You have to stay bullish. If all you ever do is sell your winners, then you end up with a portfolio that's not very attractive. So as long as we continue to see the market do relatively well, then I am going to say that we're going to see some strength until into the end of the year. There are a couple of things that could derail that. For the Nasdaq 100 it would be Tesla. There are also, certain geopolitical problems that might crop up between now and the end of the year. But all in all, I think you have to remain bullish as long as interest rates remain relatively low.
Right. And a tape like this, where it's either to the upside or it's quiet, it's always hard to either short or sell this kind of market as well. I mean, the trend clearly is going one way.
Right. That's absolutely right. And traders do not like to sell a quiet market. We tend to see, when markets get quiet, we tend to see them rally. It's when they get a little volatile that we have a problem.
All right, Scott, we appreciate the insight as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.